doomsday clock could be shifted back should leaders work together to prepare for existential threats. Toby, I'm just going to say it. I don't think I do well in an apocalypse. Don't have that dog in me.
Well, don't start going Mad Max on me yet, because a lot of people are sort of roasting the doomsday clock, because how is it closer to midnight now than in 1962 at the peak of the Cuban Missile Crisis, which merely brought us 7 minutes till midnight? And part of that just has to do actually with a methodology change. In the past few years, the group has changed from counting down the minutes until midnight to counting down the seconds, because it gives you a little bit more flexibility and nuance when addressing global rapid change that's hitting our world right now.
Inflation's hitting everything,
Exactly.
from groceries to doomsday clock counts.
And now a word from our sponsor, Sandals. Neil, got any fun travel plans?
Yeah, I'm visiting home for a very quiet dinner with my parents, followed by the annual fight.
See, that is the problem. That is not something to look forward to get you through these gloomy winter months. If only you could go to Sandals Resorts instead.
Yes, if only I were at Sandals adult-only resorts, exploring the Caribbean's most beautiful islands from Jamaica to St. Vincent, and enjoying globally inspired dining across more than 10 restaurants per resort.
I mean, where would you rather be? With your parents or the Caribbean's best beaches? Powder white sand and turquoise waters.
Mom, earmuffs, but definitely the Caribbean. There's no better place to experience the Caribbean than at resorts founded by a family from the Caribbean. The Winter Blues sale is now on, so visit sandals.com for the best all-inclusive value in the Caribbean. That's sandals.com. Okay, this is incredible. Americans' views of the economy is officially worse now than it was during the pandemic, when you could barely leave your house and unemployment neared 15%. The Consumer Confidence Index for January, released yesterday morning, tumbled almost 10 points to its lowest reading since 2014, far lower than projections. The Conference Board survey asked respondents to assess the economy as it stands currently and their outlook for the future. Those questions revealed a nation more pessimistic than Eeyore. Perhaps the biggest area of concern is a job market that stagnated over the last year. More than 55% of respondents said it was difficult to land a job, the highest number since the pandemic, and the share who said that jobs are plentiful tumbled to 23.9% from 27.5% in December. But people are worried about the economy for other reasons too, specifically inflation. The Conference Board said references to prices and inflation, oil and gas prices, and food and grocery prices remain elevated. Plus, mentions of tariffs, trade, politics, health insurance, and war all rose in January. Toby, I can't help but think of the vibe session of a few years ago when people were super down on the economy, but continued to spend like everything was hunky-dory. The key question is, will this time be different?
I mean, that list that the chief economist of the Conference Board pointed out gives plenty of reason why people are not feeling good.
The doomsday clock at 85 seconds makes a lot of sense.
I know, what a dour start to the morning. But it is true that consumer sentiment is in the gutter right now. And I think you have to look into the reasons why. Obviously, you pointed to the labor market. One good kind of metaphor for how the entire economy is right now is, I'm stealing from Diane Swank, which is a KPMG economist. She said, it's a one-legged stool everywhere you look. And basically what she's saying is that only certain parts of the economy are propping up the larger whole. And in the labor market right now, one industry is the only one doing the hiring. It is healthcare. It's driven most of the gains in the labor market over the past year or so. In the consumer spending front that you mentioned, it's rich people. Rich people we've talked about this ad nauseum on the show. It's a K-shaped economy where just look at the planes that you are going on. Everyone in first class is driving most of the revenue for airlines. Same goes for all the way across the economy. So one-legged stools everywhere you look, which is probably why people are feeling very uncertain right now.
I think the biggest red flag is the job market. According to the survey, just 14% of respondents expected more jobs to be available in 6 months. The job market is essentially just frozen over. We got more bad news yesterday on that front. Pinterest, social media giant, announced that it was going to lay off less than 15% of its workforce. And the reason why this is notable, well, it's a lot of people, but also they tied it directly to artificial intelligence. They said the company is taking these actions to support transformation initiatives like reallocating resources to AI-focused roles in teams. I think people certainly have AI and how that's going to impact their job in the back of their minds when they're perhaps responding to a survey asking, hey, how do you think the economy is? Do you think you'll have a job in the next 6 months?
And then the weird part about AI too is that if you look at GDP projections coming up over the next year, they're pretty rosy. I mean, there are some very optimistic projections, saying that GDP will grow 4 or 5% over the next year, but a lot of that is driven by AI investment. And so if artificial intelligence spending is the only thing kind of drawing the carriage of the economy forward, then again, that's another one-legged stool that we're looking at, that most of the business investment have been in data centers. It's not a very broad business investment. So very few things are propping up the economy right now, which is again leading to all of that uncertainty. Moving on, TikTok is looking like a broken clock these days. After the US version launched last week, a wave of glitches have hit the app, which the company blamed on a power outage at one of its data centers, creating, quote, cascading systems failure. However, TikTok's explanation is not sitting well with its user base, who claims the company is censoring political content, especially anti-Trump and anti-ICE content. One viral example that was verified by CNBC showed the word Epstein triggering an error message in DMs, prompting an investigation from the company. Other more general issues users reported were their videos getting flagged as ineligible for recommendation, posts showing 0 views, which make better videos, am I right, and DMs failing to send. While the censorship narrative gained a lot of attention on social media, Gavin Newsom went as far as to launch a review into whether TikTok is violating state law by censoring content. More mundane issues like a massive winter storm could help explain some of the outages. In general, though, it's been a very rocky start to life for the joint venture, highlighted by the number of US users deleting the app surging nearly 150% over the past 5 days, according to Sensor Tower. Neil, tough to think of a worse start.
Well, the 2025 Colorado Rockies would like a word. All you have to do is go to the App Store to see this change take place. I looked at the top 25 free apps. TikTok is not there, which is crazy to think about. It's one of the most popular social media apps in the country. What is there at number 2 is a social media app called Upscrolled. It was just started last year. It's sort of a blend of Instagram and X, and a lot of users from TikTok have been defecting from there to Upscrolled and a number of other competitors. We saw this happen after Elon Musk took over Twitter/X a few years ago. Who knows whether this will have any staying power, but at least right now people are voting with their feet, because no matter the cause of the issue, whether it was actual censorship, but there's no evidence of, or these data center power outages, people just don't trust the current leadership of TikTok, or many users don't seem to trust the new current owners, and they're voting with their feet.
One thing that I mentioned when we talked about TikTok kind of getting into this US joint venture was the fact that the data security risk now lies with Oracle. Like, the buck stops with Oracle, and we immediately saw how that is going to manifest, because if they have a data center issue now, they cannot blame ByteDance. They can't really blame Beijing at all. It all comes down to whether Oracle can withstand the load of taking on TikTok USA onto their servers. And early signs are not good. They have not done well with it, because if the reason why you're saying all of these errors were occurring for users is the fact that your systems couldn't handle it, that's still not a good thing. Even if you're not censoring data, like, that is not a good start to life as a US joint venture.
Meanwhile, there's another headline yesterday that just shows how powerful TikTok was at least a few years ago, and hopefully it'll continue in the future if the new owners sort of handle this okay. Khaby Lame, who is the world's biggest TikToker, he has 160 million TikTok followers. He's that guy that does those he makes fun of just people doing stupid things on the internet. Well, he just signed a $975 million deal with a financial services firm called Rich Sparkle Holdings to monetize that massive fan base. And they think this business led by Khaby, who's a creator-led business, is going to eventually do $4 billion in revenue. So that was, he cashed out. That's an incredible deal for him. Shows the power of TikTok over the past few years to generate huge fan bases. I think there is a huge question about whether this social media app that came out of absolutely nowhere in 2019 will have this power moving forward. Moving on, after 2 decades of negotiations, the European Union and India finalized a trade agreement yesterday that leaders are calling the mother of all trade deals. It's the latest sign that President Trump's tariffs have motivated other countries to cozy up to each other and reduce their dependence on the American market. The mother of all trade deals is indeed massive. It covers nearly 2 billion people, encompasses about 1/4 of the global economy, and 1/3 of global trade. Crucially, it'll give European companies better access to a fast-growing Indian market that has been among the most protectionist in the world. Here are the details. India is going to eliminate or reduce tariffs for nearly 97% of traded goods by value. That's projected to double EU exports to India by 2032 and lead to 4 billion euros in savings for European firms. On the other side, the EU is going to cut tariffs on virtually all goods imported from India over the next 7 years. Both India and the EU have been bruised by tariffs from the Trump administration. India got hit with a 50% tariff on certain goods, while Europe was slapped with a 15% tariff, even after it struck a deal with the White House. Toby, they're clinking French champagne in Delhi.
I mean, you said that they've been talking about this forever. 20 years is a long time to talk about a trade deal, but I do think it's all downstream of just wanting a stable trading partner. Just think about what you want in a life partner, Neil. Do you want someone who's
Think about it a lot.
constantly oscillating back and forth, jumping down your throat when you buy Russian oil once or twice? Or do you want someone who says, yes, we welcome you with open arms? That being said, it does feel like maybe you're kind of trying to get back at a jilted ex a little bit here, because yes, this is a big deal. Yes, they're calling it the mother of all trade deals, but India EU trade pales in comparison to US EU trade. Right now, only less than $200 billion of goods are exchanged between the two countries. Between the US and the EU, it's $1.5 trillion. So that just gives you a sense of the scale, but still it is a big win for these two blocs.
It really ties back to the Prime Minister of Canada's Mark Carney's speech back in Davos, where he talked about the middle powers getting together. They basically almost every country on the planet, their biggest trading partner is the United States, or in second place or in first place, China. Carney called on the middle powers to act together because, quote, if we're not at the table, we're on the menu. And you're seeing this happen all over the world. The EU is just coming off signing a trade agreement with 4 South American countries. Keir Starmer, the UK Prime Minister, he's going to China today to perhaps sign some more deals. Canada and China agreed to a deal earlier this month that reduced tariffs on Chinese EVs in Canada. So you're seeing these middle powers come together because, yes, the United States is their #1 trading partner, but as the United States becomes more unreliable on the trading front, they're all getting together. And who knows whether this is, the start of something big and a more major global realignment of trade permanently, or just sort of a gut reaction to what's happening with the United States right now. But either way, it opens up an Indian market for the EU that is just extremely protectionist. So we talk about the US having high tariffs right now. Well, India is essentially a fortress right now. European cars are hit with a 110% tariff. That is going to come down to 10% over the next few years under this deal. And then let's talk about wine and alcohol. That is a huge export from the European Union. It's currently, tariffs in India are currently at 150% right now. Eventually, those will be reduced to 20%. I don't know how they afford to buy European liquor in India.
Clinking glasses for sure will be in their future. All right, we're going to take a quick break and come back with more stories right after this.
Barry Weiss apparently has never heard of a feedback sandwich. In a brutally honest direct address at a CBS News All Hands, the new editor-in-chief announced an overhaul of the network to bring it to the social media age or else become extinct. Weiss, the Free Press founder, who was given the reins to CBS News 3 months ago, told colleagues that the era of television news was dead, put a fork in it. She said, "Our strategy until now has been to cling to the audience that remains on broadcast television. I'm here to tell you that if we stick to that strategy, we're toast." She urged reporters to forget about which shows would pick up their stories and instead focus on reaching audiences on the internet who expect news immediately and on demand. Weiss argued that CBS News is not meeting people where they consume news in 2026. She said that Americans actually spend twice as much time consuming news today as they did 50 years ago. So it's not like they're tuning out the world, but they are tuning out traditional TV in favor of things like podcasts, YouTube, newsletters, and Twitch. Walter Cronkite had 2 competitors, she told staffers. We have 2 billion, give or take. Toby Weiss has had a rocky few months since being hired as editor-in-chief. Do you think this pivot to more of a startup culture can turn the ship around?
Yeah, and a lot of people within CBS News maybe not are Barry Weiss fans, but are fans of kind of her take on the industry as a whole, because a lot of people do agree with it that the diagnosis of the fact that CBS may be over-indexed on broadcast news is 100% true. People do consume news on social media now. How you go about giving that message to your employees, how you go about, managing layoffs and whatnot has been left something to be desired, but her overall take on the industry, I think a lot of people are aligned with.
Yeah, here are 2 data points where I think she's kind of relying on to message this shift. She said that Americans' confidence in mass media has fallen to a record low. This is in a new Gallup poll last year. 28% expressed trust in newspapers, television, and radio to report the news fully, accurately, and fairly. So that 28% is down from 31% the year before and 40% 5 years ago. So this has been a precipitous downfall. And then another poll from Pew found that for the first time ever, social media has displaced television as the top way Americans get news. And so she announced 18 new contributors to CBS News. It's an interesting list of podcasters, newsletter writers, existing columnists at the Free Press that kind of span the gamut when it comes to political ideology. But I think the number one thing that they all perhaps share in common is they bring an existing audience. They're creator first. And this is the way news is going here at Morning Brew. We're doing that, exactly that.
Little endorsement of Morning Brew along the way. But yeah, and one of the big things that she is trying to preach here is that we need to install trust in news organizations once more. But a lot of people say you're kind of undermining that very goal when you do something like pull a 60-minute segment just days before it's going on air because the government hasn't had a chance to respond to it yet. So people are saying, let's execute this strategy if you actually believe in this, because right now people don't trust you and don't trust CBS as a whole because of the moves that you have made yourself. So yes, you can bring Andrew Huberman on, you can bring Peter Attia on, which are some of the commentators that she is doing. But if you want to establish trust, you just got to make moves that establish trust. Moving on, Yale wants to make sure that your grades are the only thing you can blame for not getting into Yale. Yesterday, the school announced a major expansion of its financial aid program. Starting this fall, kids who come from families earning up to $200,000 a year will be able to attend the school tuition-free, while those coming from families who earn up to $100,000 a year paying nothing at all. The decision will save students and their families a hefty chunk of change. Tuition alone will run you $72,000 a year, while full cost of attendance, including room and board, can reach nearly $100,000. Yale has already made strides to increase the number of lower income students on its campus, with over 1,000 of their 6,800 undergraduates attending for free. How can they afford all the free rides? Its endowment ticked up 11% last year to reach $44 billion. The decision also moves Yale into lockstep with many of its ultra-wealthy peer schools with similar policies. Harvard, MIT, and UPenn all offer deals like the one Yale announced. Neil, obviously, this is great for expanding access to one of the premier institutions in America, but it's also coming at a time where the value of a college degree is being called into question. So Yale is killing two birds with one stone by killing tuition.
This is all about hitting the middle class. So at Yale and other elite institutions, they're doing really well with low-income students. They're doing really well with high-income students, unsurprisingly, those legacy people. So this is all about targeting the middle, and that's why they are increasing this tuition exemption to $200,000 instead of up from $100,000 earlier. Like, Yale has nearly doubled the number of low-income students that go to New Haven in recent years, but that middle is the gap that they're trying to solve now.
I think they're trying to solve a ROI issue as well, because they are trying to defend their relevance or trying to defend their legitimacy right now, even as you have students kind of second guessing if this is worth it. Like, should I go into debt to attend this institution? Is it worth spending $100,000 a year, even though it is Yale? It is just an insane amount of money. So they have adopted sort of this high price but high aid model, because you are splitting the difference there, because you can say we still have that prestige sticker price, but we are allowing a lot more people in as well. So that is one of the big questions here, is obviously expanding access, but how do you defend the legitimacy of your institution? And this seems like a pretty good way of going about it.
I think it's worth going just for the pizza alone.
I've never had any New Haven pizza. Like, we make jokes about it all the time, but I visited Yale on my college tours, didn't actually have any pizza, so we got to go back sometime soon. All right, let's sprint to the finish with some final headlines. Healthcare stocks need an ambulance. After a surprise report that the government is likely to keep the Medicare Advantage rate flat for next year, insurer stocks collapsed like a cheap lawn chair. United Health Group, bam, down at 20%. Humana, ouch, down at 21%. CVS Health, my leg, down 14%. I could keep going. In total, nearly $100 billion in market cap was wiped away in a deeply red day for the sector. Medicare Advantage rates, aka the per patient payments the government makes to insurers, powers a major part of the healthcare industry, driving more than $500 billion in revenue last year. But that golden goose has already been under pressure. Some Biden-era policies trimmed the most lucrative billing practices, and then came the rate shock. The Centers for Medicare and Medicaid Services proposed a 2027 rate increase of just 0.09%. Wall Street expected closer to 5%. Suddenly, the engine looks broken, Neil, and there's no mechanics with anything higher than a 2-star Google review nearby to fix it.
I've never heard someone relish stock prices tumbling as much.
It felt fitting, all right?
As much as that, yeah. What you're about to see is the mother. We talked about the mother of all trade deals. We're about to see the mother of all lobbying to protect this very lucrative $500 billion business in Medicare Advantage by these health insurance companies. In previous times, they've rolled out seniors talking about how they're going to lose coverage. They've taken out commercials in the Super Bowl. So one consultant said this is going to be the typical industry Medicare lobbying on crank this next 90 days, because right now this capping rates is just a proposal. They haven't finalized it yet. So prepare for an onslaught from the health insurance company. So in the future, maybe we'll talk about their stock prices rising, and you'll have the same amount of verve. All right, finally, Southwest Airlines entered a new era yesterday, scrapping its 50-plus year open boarding system for more traditional assigned seats. Now, if you get on a Southwest plane, you'll be assigned a seat and placed into an 8-group boarding structure, similar to how other airlines do it. It's part of Southwest's sweeping overhaul to make more money, a transformation that also includes charging for bags when bags used to, famously, fly free. The transition from Mad Max level anarchy to buttoned up airline will take about 2 months to complete, so don't be surprised to see those tall metal columns still standing by a Southwest gate, but those will have their numbers removed or covered till they're whisked away from the airport. Toby, I think they should auction off these metal columns. Would love to have one at my house.
I've never been in the A section of one of those columns, so get me the A1 through 30, because I never checked in time. This just stinks. I'm saying it now because Southwest used to be like the quirky airline, that it used to have little idiosyncrasies that defined it against the rest of the industry. Now it just feels the same as the rest of the industry. So yes, will they probably make more money? Is that the goal of the business? Probably that is a good idea, but in terms of just like user love for the brand, I'm not sure this is going to be the wise
People
decision.
love the brand because of that boarding system.
Yeah, it's different. It's different. That
Just
is
because
very
it's
much
different doesn't mean it's better.
and bags fly free, obviously.
Yeah, I think that has more of an impact. I mean, maybe people did enjoy that boarding system, but I did not. It was like a free for all to get in line, and
That might say more about you than about the customer
perhaps.
base as a whole. That is basically what the brand is saying, though, that assigned seating actually reduces anxiety among travelers because they know what to expect. But a lot of people like the egalitarianness of it all, that there is no first class. It's just like how prompt you were with checking in. So now it's just like any other airline.
Yeah, Southwest will never be the same. That is all the time we have. Thanks so much for starting your morning with us, and have a wonderful Wednesday.
Great show, Danielle. Let's run it back tomorrow.
Welcome to Stocks in Translation, Yahoo Finance's video podcast that cuts through the market mayhem, the noisy numbers, and the hyperbole to give you the information you need to make the right trade for your portfolio. I'm Jared Blicker, your host, and with me is my co-host, Yahoo Finance senior reporter Brooke DePalma, who's here to connect the dots and to be that bridge between Wall Street and Main Street. Today, we're going to be talking about how options are changing the way investors approach markets and why that matters as AI, concentration, and geopolitics shape volatility in 2026. Our word of the day is options, the market's most popular tool for a quick bet or just plain protection. And on today's Market Show and Tell, we're going to break down a simple hedging strategy in an ETF tracking the NASDAQ 100. We promise to go easy on the math. And this episode is brought to you by the number 4.6 billion. That's the record-breaking number of options contract traded last year on the CBOE's exchanges, how a casino mindset is increasingly gripping large segments of the investing population. And today we are welcoming Amy Wu Silverman, who's head of derivative strategy at RBC Capital Markets, where she helps investors think through options-based hedging and what volatility is signaling. Earlier in her career, she held cross-asset and derivatives research and trading roles at Goldman Sachs, Citadel, and Morgan Stanley. And Amy, you've helped me break down options in a few segments here at Yahoo Finance. Just set the table here for us, 2026, what you're seeing so far.
Well, so far, we were joking that our necks are getting a little bit of whiplash just from all the news that we've been following, both geopolitically as well as economically. And then obviously we're kicking off earnings season. So, it's only been 2 weeks so far, but it has felt longer. And I only think that will continue as there will likely be volatility potholes ahead.
2 weeks, and it certainly has felt longer. And I do want to get to today's word of the day, and that is options, which are contracts that give you the right, not the obligation, to buy or sell a stock or other asset at a set price by a set date. And they come in two main flavors or types. A call is the right to buy, and a put is the right to sell. Most people use them for two things: insurance when they're worried about a drop, or leverage bet if they think a move is coming. Amy, there's a lot of math that goes into options. It can be intimidated. So how do you sort of navigate this?
Yeah, it's a great question. And I would say, especially if you're just dipping your toe in options, I would think first about what owning an option means. And I think one of the most important things to know is that the most you can lose when you own an option is the premium paid. So that sounds great to a lot of people. And
Defined risk.
Yeah.
yes, defined risk, of course. But obviously, that can also mean that you lose your entire investment. So I always think about sizing for investors. It has to be something where you're comfortable with that amount that you could potentially lose all of. And to size that correctly in the beginning is always good practice as you start trading them later on, and maybe in a leveraged fashion.
So know how much you're putting in, how much you're willing
Yeah.
to lose here.
So we talked. That kind of touches on owning options. Let's talk about writing options or selling options. When you do that, you face potentially unlimited risk, but there's a lot of different complicated strategies. Just talk to us generally about what happens when you write an option.
Yeah, so exactly as you said, when you write an option, sometimes we call it being, naked short an option, it can be scary. And so there are two flavors to think of that. There are actually some very not scary strategies. So a lot of times people who are looking for additional income, if they're already long a stock, let's just say they're long Apple, they really like it, this is like a long-term bet for them. But then valuations maybe seem like they're getting a little high when you write an option, when you're selling a call an option on Apple, for instance, you're collecting a premium, but you're also saying in a way, I'm kind of capping my upside. So I'm getting additional yield in exchange for getting that yield. I am capping my upside if that call is called away. And I'm okay with that because at that valuation level, maybe I think that the stock is getting a little rich. Now, an important caveat is to have enough shares that covers whatever the contract size of your option is versus, again, leveraging that. That's probably not a day one trade when you're just dipping your toe in the water.
Exactly, because 100 shares is the minimum contract size for each option. You got a number of predictions for 2026, and I like your first one. We're going to see Momo, YOLO, FOMO vibes have a moment in an unexpected industry, as evidenced by negative skew inversion. All right, let's leave out the negative skew inversion for now. Let's talk about Momo, YOLO, FOMO in an unexpected industry.
Oh, this is what we've also just been seeing for the past few years.
Yeah, out of left field, something happens, and then suddenly it has momentum, and then you only live once, and you got to get in. Otherwise, you got fear of missing out. So,
Exactly.
And you have now managed to define all the terms, which is
Oh,
great.
well, that's my job here.
But look, what I would say is if you kind of look at this market post-COVID, I've really thought of that as its own regime for volatility. And the reason I say that is the factor that has really driven this market is momentum. And when we say that as traders, we actually mean that in a more quantitative way. So you can actually trade the momentum factor. It has like a very specific definition of essentially when price return goes up a certain amount, there's usually a predictive ability of it going up even more. And the reason I say unexpected industry, I was joking with an investor that, it's a quote unquote more boring industries, is that we've seen the momentum already in AI. We've seen the momentum already in your meme stocks. But what I think is really important about this year, guys, is it's a little bit more of a show me year for AI. So we've had all this CapEx expenditure. We've had claps on the back for CEOs saying the word AI in their earnings. But now investors kind of want to know, okay, well, where's the efficiency gains? Where is AI helping you move to more profitability? And so when I say unexpected sector, maybe it's one that's not as sexy, but you're going to start to see those AI efficiency gains. It could
So
be
not quantum, but maybe in like traditional medicine somewhere. Something.
exactly.
Okay.
And I'll tell you, I had a client joke with me that he feels like every time he goes to his doctor's office, it's like, has there been a fire? Like, why am I filling out the same medical form that I filled out 6 months ago, that I filled out 6 months before that? Like, do you have a fire in this office
Yeah.
every time?
Yeah.
And AI solves things like that, right?
Mhm.
Like just kind of very low hanging fruit where these are kind of the industry touch points you'd expect to see them first. And so it could create this momentum in an area that is relatively unexpected. Because one thing we have learned about the retail cohort, which really likes to trade call options, which fuel momentum, is they're pretty agnostic to the stocks.
Mhm.
They'll trade your 90s cool companies. They'll trade your AI mega cap tech. So it's much more about the underlying theme, not necessarily the underlier itself.
Yeah,
Yeah.
we've seen so many companies even team up, like unexpected Walmart, Papa John's, even this week teaming up with Google Cloud. So it's just be interesting to see as well plays out.
Exactly. Well, we got to shift gears a little bit because in today's market show and tell, we are sticking with the option theme and we're going to break down a simple market hedge. We're going to use the Invesco QQQ Trust. It's an ETF with the ticker QQQ, which tracks the NASDAQ 100.
Good morning, everybody. Happy Wednesday. Welcome on in. Thanks for tuning in pre-market. We're going to get the show rolling. We got open in about 50 minutes or so. Let's have a great Wednesday. If you got any questions, always send them in the chat. We'll look at price action here pre-market. Let me know if who's in the chat. See Caesar's here. What's up? How we all doing this morning, huh? Caesar, Robson. Good morning. So we'll be on ASFX TV in about 50 minutes, like I said. So that's where we're going to be every morning. So if you guys want to check it out, you guys can all join for free. We're going to be streaming today in the morning at the open, and then also another stream later on at 1 o'clock Eastern. If you go to ASFX TV, you can see the upcoming schedule. So we have today's stream, an afternoon stream, as well as tomorrow, and so on and so forth. So go check that out. But looking at it here pre-market, we made an all-time high on ES here overnight. So if we look at ES real quick, it is below its overnight view up. It's back below. But we did make an all-time high. So let's go to the daily chart real quick. And you'll see just slightly. I mean, where was the all-time high last? January 13th, just barely beating out October 30th. So small new all-time high made. We're already back below it. It's been like a couple minutes above it, but it is also FOMC day. So keep that in mind. Regardless of if it looks trending right now, it is FOMC day, a day that normally takes many people's accounts just because they overtrade, they rush into a trade that's not really presenting yet, or there's no trend. So we got to take it slow, especially with us back below the overnight view up. Now, if you look at NQ, I love the longs. I mean, it's higher highs, higher lows overnight. We're still at this overnight view up. So if ES could make its way back above, longs could look beautiful. But keep in mind that it is FOMC, so it might not make another trending move. It may make one trending move and then stall out. Now, we're not expected to cut rates, so it might not be the craziest FOMC day we've ever seen, but just something to keep in mind. It is FOMC. Hopefully, we'll have some clearer price action tomorrow and Friday. But nonetheless, we're just going to read and react. Austin was making some good points in our Black Shirt Club this morning. One of the members, Jesper, was giving his thesis on what he thought he might see, thinking this day could be a reaction to overextended move this week, watchful for the long, whatever. And his simple answer was just don't think, just react. Just react to what's happening. It's as simple as that on any day, especially on FOMC, that rather than predict, oh, it made an all-time high this morning, surely we have to go back up there, or surely this is going to flush lower because it's been so high, right? This has to happen. It's like, no, just read and react to what's happening at the open. What side of the view up are we on? Let's carry on. But how are we all doing? Everyone having a good week so far, Monday, Tuesday? Had some nice trades on stream. We can go over those real quick. Yesterday's trade was clean. Bounce off the New York VWAP. I made a YouTube video on this. It'll be out probably tomorrow. That's just trading off this black New York, right? This is the second one. After it makes another higher low, buyers break that high of day VWAP, go bounce for another new high. Some people were already long back here. Randy was in the long off the first retest of New York, like that one. And you could probably even scalp that up real quick, back towards those highs. Or I know he sat through it with a long down here. You should have a stop loss inside the range and still survive through all of this to eventually get that bigger move that I was in later on. But either way, you either had two trades or one trade. I think either one of them were the trades of the day because it's just about this view up. Right? We know the moves happen from here. So the first idea would have been back here inside the opening range. No breaks of the opening range yet. It's like 9:50 in the morning, not even like 9:45. So we don't know it's necessarily a strong bullish day yet. So you miss that. You miss the initial pop. It's just setting the bias for the day. Okay, buyers are in. So I think the easier trades came after that breakout, and hopefully you were able to get involved in one of those. And then Monday was the same thing. It's just a little bit later on in the morning. Another bounce off New York. This one came at 11:20 in the morning, but same thing. There's opportunities back here off these higher lows. I think the earlier one on ES didn't take it. Again, 10:12 in the morning, first break of open range high. Just like I explained all this on ASFX TV. So if you're going to tune into streams, also tune into Futures 2.0. It's my full strategy on here. You'll see the break play versus the bounce play. I did an update to it about a little bit over 2 months ago. So definitely check that out. But you'll see. I don't want to chase this first break of opening range. Often doesn't run very far. And it didn't. But it's telling me that buyers are in. Okay, great. Now let's let it pull back to VWAP. This would be your first opportunity. Once you see buyers defend that VWAP, even though it's a small little pin, that would be your first opportunity. And go trade the next breakout. Now, we didn't take that one, but you can make money on that move that we just went over, or the next one, or the one that I did later on. Just simple trend continuation. Just like yesterday, we'll look for the same things today. Like I said, ES is below its overnight, so it's not going to look beautiful for longs just yet, even if the open comes in bullish, because I would ideally like to get back above this black overnight. You can see on the bottom right here, ES is below its overnight, and NQ is getting below it. Right, it was above it, but we know it's sitting like right at it. It could bounce, but you just want to keep an eye on NQ's holding up bullish, but it could definitely try to get down underneath it, just like ES is. Clean structure overnight, new all-time high. Gotta like it. That was really about it. Monday's trading was simple. Yesterday's was simple. One trade each. But other than that, is there anything else that was really, really noteworthy? I mean, there were just other ideas. On that Monday, there was another bounce off New York there. Imagine that. This one simple VWAP. The earlier one here. So, like, this would be an idea of, like, you either scalp it really quick, trading it back to these highs, getting profit there, or you weren't quick enough, whatever, it's fine. You shouldn't have a stop loss at current structure. It should be at previous back here. So, not the current, most current, high or low if you're in a long, the one previous to the left. So, that way you could survive this retest and still survive to see the profits following. You know, that's similar to my trade yesterday, I guess. That if you're long back here, doesn't make the same high or low retest, but you don't want to stop loss here. This is just going to stress you out seeing it come that close to your drawdown and your stop loss. So give it that space. But NQ's on its overnight. Something funny, you can probably see it here. Yeah. Look in the 15-minute here on ES. I had a long overnight. I shouldn't say I had a long overnight. I had a long last night because I was recording a YouTube video for you guys on how to trade on TradingView. There's many questions on how to trade through Tradeovate here on TradingView since Project X is no more. Let's go to the 2-minute. You'll see. Oh, if only I held, huh? But I was long 2 micros on ES just to show you how to scale out. So I took one piece off saying, oh, this is how you trim your trade. Now you have one floating. And then how do you put a stop loss in? There you go. So it was not a real trade. I was risking like $15 with the amount of volatility we had of 2 micros times 2 points. It's $10. I'll survive. Which is funny that it just rips as soon as I'm done with the video. So didn't really take a trade last night if you see that arrow on my chart this morning. Now, another view up you could use is a previous day's New York, as we always look at on ES. It's still a little bit below us, so we could want to see some move down and still find support there. Now, on NQ, since it's already holding up way more bullish, I'd have to assume, yeah, it's way down there. So not really in the realm right now, but I'd love longs off this NQ level, but we still have like 40 minutes or so until the open, so see what happens there. My best trades don't come pre-market, especially on an FOMC day. Even though we're not going to cut rates, we could pull up financial juice. This is where I like to look for the news. I think CAD has it first. Yeah, CAD's got their rates at 9:45, so a little bit after the open. Not too concerned about that for our U.S. indices, but you never know. And then there's some oil inventories at 10:30. Trump speaking at 10:50, maybe. And then FOMC at 2 o'clock. You can see rates not expected to change, so it might not be the biggest FOMC you've ever seen, but you got to be aware of it. Especially if you don't see something you like. It's not the day to just be like, oh, well, I'll just settle for whatever it gives me. Take whatever I want. No, no, no. But good. I guess no one's got a big red week. I mean, on stream on Tuesday and Monday, of course, I don't know what the entire chat is up to, but everyone was green. That, of course, is probably someone red that just doesn't want to own up to it or speak it out loud, but that really only hurts the trader who was red. So if you're ever red in our chat, always speak up, always face it head on. The only way you're going to learn from it of like, well, how did you get red? Why? Because everyone is so green and the trades were so clear, in my opinion. Where did it go wrong? Let's try to fix it. Let's try to get better from it. But if you're just like, oh, shit, everybody's green. Like, I don't want to embarrass myself and say I'm red. No one's embarrassed. That only hurts you. Because I am actually generally curious, if you were red on Monday, Tuesday, just these days specifically, where did it come from? You know, because it was very kind of hard to lose unless you were short somewhere. You know, like unless you were like short there, but I don't know why you would be. Or like if you short it, I don't know. I don't see the red, truthfully. Well, there's plenty of days where it's like, oh, yeah, they probably got sucked into this trade, or yeah, that's an annoying pullback, probably wicked them out. This day, if you longed it anywhere, you made money, even if you had a good stop. So just always curious, try to fix it. Another thing I was looking at, I want to go to my reports real quick. I haven't looked at them in a while. But the time, day and time. Let's just do year to date. This is going to be too much data. How about this year? It is only 3 or 4 weeks. Yeah, it's not, maybe not enough information. But day and time, can we split it up more than an hour? I think you can, right? No, that's duration. I guess not. Guess we could check duration. 100% win rate, 2 to 5 minutes. At a 2-hour trade? Nah, whatever. If you just go to trade time, again, it's not the biggest sample size because it's just this year. But right at 9 o'clock, which I guess would be like taking in somewhat pre-market. I don't know how many trades that is. 66% win rate. Then 87, then 85, then 100, which I can imagine is only probably like 2 trades. But the win rate goes up as the morning goes on. It was literally 1 trade. So take that with a grain of salt. You can see the bulk of my money, 80%, 87 and 85% win rate, $2,500 to each of them, comes at 10 and 11. You don't need to rush in and right at 9:30. Wait for the open range to set, maybe even let the initial balance set. give it time. Kind of wanted more, like more niche of 15-minute increments. I know you used to be able to do it. I'm sure you still can. Just not going to spend the time to do that right now. About the overview, average hold time for my winning trades, losing trades. Winning trades 19, 20 minutes on the losers. Pretty even. Or no, that's all trades. Winning trades are 20, losing trades are 14. So I'm wrong pretty quickly or right pretty quickly. All within the same 15, 20 minutes. Right? If I'm playing a 15-minute candle, which I don't always at the start of one, I'll find out pretty quickly if this is going to continue that bullish momentum I think we're going to find here at the VWAP. And if we don't, right, let's just go back to one of the markups and try to see how that would make sense. Let's go to even yesterday's long. If I'm long in it here, and we're not, in fact, going to hold this break of high day VWAP or this New York VWAP, I just get smoked in 14 to 15, 20 minutes. It's like, oh, I thought buyers were in, but they seem to be disappearing. So I'm wrong. It's not often that I'm like longing it up here and I have to sit through all this and then it finally goes my way. I'm trying to get that lowest price towards VWAP that it's either going to hold it or not. And if it doesn't hold it, I'm wrong. If it holds it, I'm right pretty quickly. Right? Does that make sense? So always trying to position myself close to VWAP, which is why I'm not long now, but if you could be long around this VWAP, you'll get some sort of pop. If trend continues bullish like it looks like it wants to, there could be a nice move from anywhere between this bounce and the high. Right? Anything in here you could try to capture. Does it go back to the high? Does it break out for the high? Don't know. I'm just focused on this in the middle, just trying to capture back to where we've already been. And if I'm long here and it doesn't hold VWAP and it breaks lower, I'm out. I'm wrong. We're not holding that view up like I thought. So as long as we hold this, I'll be in the trade and be long. But ES below it. So if NQ could hold this, ES might want to try to build its higher low back here because it's still above its pre-market low from the changeover, right? I guess here or even over there. So it is tricky because anywhere down here could form a higher low, get back above. Longs were easy, but it is below overnight right now. So let's hope NQ can keep up that bullish strength, huh? If you got any questions, we'll be jumping over to Apex TV in like 30 minutes or so. Austin's going to kick us off. Randy will be on. Have another good week of streams, huh? Last week of the month. Bobby Boucher. Why are you always missing it? I mean, it's normally around like 8:30, like an hour before the open. And then Monday, Wednesday, Friday. And then you might have seen it yesterday or even this morning. We're going to run some other streams as well. But pre-market Monday, Wednesday, Friday. Could be more, but those are the least the staples that you will see me. But then we got ASFX TV every day. Look at this on a lower time frame. You can see, where are we? Whoa. Still trying to hold this view up. There's a lot of chop up here. That's for sure. Right? A lot of consolidation here. Try to make a new high there. Couldn't. But I'm still more so focused underneath. As long as we're holding like this 26, 260 level down here, I still see longs, until we really break below it. Because I also know ES is already below it. So if this NQ takes its overnight, I could probably quickly react to the shorts just because ES is already leading the charge. Let's see. You hating ASFX? What are you doing? I don't know. Ryan, what's up, my man? Yeah, streams have been really good lately. Really good past week or two, as they always are. But everyone's seen the market very clearly this year, which I like. A lot more patience and discipline in the chat. Right, so I wouldn't. Again, we're not going to set a bias for the day of this has to come back higher, but I could still see longs try to defend this 7,012. And if that gets taken, then maybe you're marrying that long bias, because then we'll be back at these pre-market lows. But anywhere within here, I could still see our next higher low be formed. So definitely going to keep an eye on that, not jump into a short too early. Gonna let the first 15 minutes shake out. And then same thing with, I mean, this was yesterday as well. I don't think I have it marked up. We could just maybe go to the chart. On the regular trading hours, it might look different. But there was a long in here yesterday that on the electronic trading hours, like the overnight VWAP was right here, I think, or one VWAP was. Could have potentially longed it, but we miss it. But all that did was just confirm that I do want to be looking for long. So it made this one easier, made that one easier, rather than, I don't know if I like the longs. Let me find out. And then sometimes they'll just get smoked. You're like, yeah, I didn't like those. Where I like to wait until I know I like the direction. So rather than trying to guess what ES wants to do or NQ, let me just wait and see. Show me your hand. You're going to show some buying strength at the open and try to get above these view ups, then I'll find some longs. You're just going to keep slowly selling off like this. I'll wait for some pullbacks and some view ups to be broken. Is Trade Evade down right now? Not that I know of. I don't know. I'm not trading here yet this morning. No, I mean, I'm logged in, right? I'm logged into my account. You guys can see I'm down $10 from that pre-market trade. Try to help you guys out, make a tutorial on Trade Evade. Someone Venmo me. 2 of you got to Venmo me $5, and we'll be square. But I'm at least logged in. I don't know if you could trade. We'll find out shortly. But not down for me. Also, I don't know if Trade Evade itself, maybe that platform. Don't know. But is anyone in a trade here pre-market, ES or NQ? I know many of you trade London session or early New York, so everyone's on a little bit different of a time. NQ, I mean, what would you have maybe done? It's like some small scalps along in here, but nothing really ripping. So if you're flat, that's fine. Got the whole day ahead of us, another day tomorrow, and another trading session on Friday. Oh, you mean like a Trade of 8 down for Project X migration? You did the early migration. Top one said they paused everything until the migration is done. So yeah, if you're talking about that, I know Griff in our BSC had his accounts paused yesterday and Monday, I think, for that migration. So maybe that, Marco. Bobby, I'm 300 away from a $2,500 payout on TOF, so I'm being extra picky, as you should. As you should. $300 away is one win, my friend. Not to put too much weight on it, but I don't know if you're feeling the weight or not, but it's like one win. So whenever that win comes, whether it's at 10 o'clock today or tomorrow at 9:50, doesn't fucking matter. Just make sure you get that shit. Like when you know you're only one click away from potentially needing or passing it. All right, let me wait for that one strongest spot. That's really it. I'm not gonna waste my time trying to just get there by taking any little setup. It's got to be what I want. You're feeling it? Yeah, I don't want to scare you. Sorry, Bobby. No pressure. There's no weight on it at all. It's just another trade. Whatever trade you took to get there, to get you from 300 away. So I guess you're at $2,700 if you're going for a 3K. You made $2,700 somehow. How'd you do it? Keep on fucking doing that. Position size, trading, the setup, stop loss, aggressive profits, everything you've done to make 2,700. Do it again. The best you can. If you take a loss, you better handle that shit well. You're only 600 away from a payout. That's still very achievable. Right? Don't take a loss as like, oh my God, this giant step back. Now I'm not even close to getting this payout. Yes, you are. Yes, you are. It's just one loss. Keep your head down, keep going forward, and take another winning trade. And then another winning trade, boom, you're at payout. All right? I'll hold your hand on stream if you take a loss. But yeah, so if anyone's can't trade, I guess Might be a blessing in disguise. FOMC day. Maybe you guys would have lost your account. I don't know. But also, if you guys have an account with another firm like TPT or so, I think I have a take profit trader account still. That's where I took a payout from a couple weeks ago. I don't know. I haven't tried to log in because on the TPT accounts, I also trade here on TradingView. But also here on TradingView, I'm logged into my TOF ones. So like I'd have to log out of those, log into TPT. So I don't like doing that. Whatever I'm logged into, I just keep trading. Or it's like if I could just slide over to a different browser or wherever, then yeah, maybe I trade multiple firms in a day. Any questions? We got about 20 minutes until we jump into the ASFX TV. Austin's going to fire it up over there. Any questions at all? Anything you want to take a look at? Any trades we missed? Pretty simple this week so far. On Monday, Tuesday. This was yesterday's afternoon bounce on NQ. Beautiful. Another note we can make on that real quick. I traded ES yesterday too. Monday I did do NQ. So Monday I traded NQ as I always normally do. But you can see it's not really off the New York, right? As much as I wanted to, or you've seen me take it. So what's up with that? Looking at ES, which is at this markup. No, it's just another. But looking at this ES one, I think the notes, this one here. When I'm long on NQ off the bounce of New York VWAP, ES is bouncing off of it. So I'm saying, okay, ES could definitely find some pop and lift back here, back into trend. So let's go play NQ now because that might be ready to turn as well. I don't think it's going to keep on pulling back if we're going to bounce. So that's why I traded NQ without the VWAP there. And you look at NQ yesterday, beautiful bounce. Right off the New York VWAP at like 1 o'clock. Do I have the ES markup as well yesterday? I don't think I do. I made it in the YouTube video though, but ES came below its New York VWAP, but held the overnight. So I know Randy had a nice long on that one in the afternoon. I was at the gym coming back from it, so I missed it. But yeah, whole lot of nothing this morning. Made an all-time high. NQ's just been chugging around this overnight VWAP. ES is below it, slowly trying to move its way lower. Like I said, let's see what the 15-minute open wants to do. I could still see longs trying to form a higher low here. But if this selling momentum just continues, we'll read and react to that. Stick to what you do best. I don't do good guessing when we're mixed VWAPs and floating off of nothing in the first 10 minutes of the day. Give me some information I could work with. No, Austin kind of touched on it yesterday, but is the indicator going to be free for us, ASFX? No. Sorry, Bobby. It will not be.
What's up, buddy? Good morning.
Good morning.
Yeah, what's Randy saying? We're having an issue with the indicator this morning?
Yeah, I think his overnight view up's painting somewhere random.
Is yours?
It doesn't look like it, but I might have 2 indicators on that. Hides it. Turn this one off.
I feel like I would have noticed this morning.
I mean, is yours off?
I'm going to check right now. Yes.
So I don't.
Okay.
I have all of them turned off. All my view ups turned off except for the indicator. Actually, no, I don't. This is the free one. I don't know.
I'm fixing it right now. I'm telling the guys we'll get that squared away. What's up this morning, bro?
We're chilling. NQ's looking like it's nice and bullish. ES a little bit weaker.
Yeah, so let's get squared away here. We have the free indicator too, you know.
Yeah, that's why I'm turning off and on because I don't know if I had that turned on, and that's what's painting the overnight, hiding the wrong one.
Right.
But it's not. So I don't know.
Okay, let me. How's my screen share looking there? Is the font too small on the Bookmap?
I don't know. What do you think, chat?
Chad, is the font too small?
You're in a small window for me, and you might be for them as well. They might be on a You might be on a side monitor or something.
I can increase the. I can.
I mean, what is it normally?
Well,
Did you
I remember
change it?
I redid this whole layout yesterday
Mhm.
to run that stream
Yeah.
after the stream. It's a bit small. Okay, thank you. Let me see if I can pump these numbers up, boys. But yeah, I think a lot of people, they'll come into today with a bias because of FOMC or something like that. How's that look? Does that look a little bit better now? Chat. That should make the font a little bit bigger. But I think, they'll come into today with a bias, and unfortunately that'll often lead to people getting married to one side of the trade. And that's probably the only thing you don't want to do today is just get married to it, because everything is so bullish. I don't think, you can always try to find a reason to be bearish, but I think you'll just be better off today reading and reacting, trying to take a little green out of it before the FOMC and then being done.
Yeah. Look for one move. If it trends, sometimes we've seen the trend continue in the afternoon, but sometimes on other FOMC days, there's just like 1 or 2 trending legs in it, and then it stalls until 2. But then maybe historically it stalls more so on the days when it's expecting a cut or who knows, or a hike.
Yeah, I mean, today, I don't think there's going to be any type of surprise to this news,
Yeah, exactly.
Right. So,
But either way, you just want to be cautious.
yeah, I was looking this morning. I have a couple of pieces of news for us to chat about. Yeah, there was a
AJ, what's
chart.
up? Good morning.
What's up, AJ? There was a chart that Charlie shared. Charlie's always on it. I think if I pull this up, you should be able to see it. Yeah. Bull markets have lasted 5 times longer than bear markets on average. Bull markets are plus 254% over 5 years on average. Bear markets are down 31% over a year. So if you look at it, like I've showed this to you before, Evan, but like there's a couple of times we go to close to 2 years, 2.5 years. The longest bear market was after the .com bubble, right? But like bear markets are very short lived. They're painful sometimes, 34%, 47%, 45%. But big picture, if you see these red numbers and buy, you end up increasing these returns even on the upside even more.
Yeah.
That's what it says to me. When we're down 20, 30%, you should be buying and not selling for a year. That's basically how I would interpret this, right?
Yeah, I mean, those are higher lows. He'll catch that 11-year, 800% rip.
This puts what we talked about yesterday, the money creation. This kind of puts it in perspective for you,
my.
doesn't it? 35% of all dollars in existence, bro.
10 months.
In 10 months. It's crazy. Like, look at the jump after COVID from here to here. And even now, like it's ripping. It's just, it's insane. And then that goes with this clip from Dalio saying, if you depreciate the money by printing more of it, it makes everything look like it's going up because everything is priced in dollars. All the assets are priced in dollars. So the stock market boom, he says, is a lie. We're witnessing the death of the dollar, not the growth of the economy. Like, that is a fair perspective, I guess. When you put it like that, it's hard to argue.
Yeah.
So
And you see, I mean, it's only in New York, but the minimum wage for food drivers is $21 an hour.
what does that mean? Like, if you work for
That your
Uber,
DoorDash is going to be $1,000 for Chipotle.
that's crazy, bro. So like what is that? Who did that? The state stepped in and said that?
Mondani. Yeah, I think so. I mean, just
Yeah.
imagine. I mean, $21 an hour, excluding tips, but only for New York City. So we're fine. We're chilling. But the minimum wage for food delivery is 21 an hour. Imagine that being your minimum wage. Comparing it back to like when you were in high school.
Dude, that's crazy, bro.
But it's like if they're gonna have to pay him a minimum 21 an hour, my DoorDash fees are gonna be not mine, but freaking A.
I don't dude, it's such a tough conversation. Because like, aren't you a nice guy, Evan? Like, don't you want everyone to make a reasonable wage? Well, yeah. But then if you're the business owner, like, don't you want to run a profitable business and not be out of like you're not and like be able to pay your employees and shit, not have to gouge your customers? So where's the balance here, right?
And
It's
he
tough.
also wants to make things cheaper. That doesn't make food cheaper. That makes it worse. Just
That
because
makes
you're
it
paying
worse.
someone more doesn't make things cheaper.
Right. It's a good point.
Like, oh, that's That's on the path of making my food more affordable.
No, so I was talking to Jay this morning for the video, and I was saying to him, I'm like, we could have it run as like a movie, basically. And like we could have the recent podcast playing. So like we could have a whole show based recent YouTube videos from you and me. So people could just tune in and just see what's going on. You know what I mean? And it's like a stream after the stream, a stream before the
guess.
stream. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It had good numbers yesterday.
Is it gonna be? I wonder if you could like figure out a way to add it to like the media assets and like run it as a video
No,
clip,
that's
not like share your screen the whole hours.
he said we won't be able to do that.
That'd be too big.
Too big. But what we'll be able to do is put it on YouTube and then share the YouTube screen, play the YouTube video full screen.
Yeah, you're gonna have to get another computer and just run everything
Thought
in a
that 20
different
minutes
room so
ago.
you can still use your setup.
Thought that 20 minutes ago, bro. Just go in the
Fuck.
basement in the gym and start that in the morning.
Yeah,
Let
just-
that thing go, and then check
That
it in.
thing's got a mind of its own. It's its own
It's got a
setup.
mind of its own. It's my Jarvis in the basement.
Yeah.
What was that? Wasn't there an Avengers movie where the computer like comes alive and like tries to kill everybody? I think
Sure.
the fuck is that guy's name? I really like him, the actor. James Spader, I think is his name. He played the voice. He was so good at it, dude. Chat will know. There's some fucking Avengers fans in here, I'm sure. Yep, see,
Age of
Bobby got it.
Ultron?
Yep, Ultron, that's it. Yep.
Oh, that was good. Oh
was a-
yeah. That's the guy in yeah, he's got some good movies.
How do you
And
feel
TV
about
show.
it? We're gonna go back into like a Marvel phase, dude. I feel like we're about to get bombarded with more Marvel movies because they're coming out in 2026, and like Robert Downey Jr. is the bad guy now. I'm super
What is he like,
concerned.
Doctor
Dr.
Doom or
Doom.
something?
Yeah.
But like I don't know anything about that guy, that character.
Neither do
Yeah.
I. I'm gonna assume it since I wasn't, you're not comic book boys. Like I didn't
Yeah.
have comic books now. Dude, I saw this thing yesterday. It was a TikTok fully AI generated video. And it's like if you were a kid, if you were born in 1995, and it's these kids that are like 7, 10 years old talking to me about my childhood. You did this and you did that. It was talking about all the shit that we did, and they were dressed like how we used to. Full AI. It was like in my memory, but it was AI.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's super weird. And then I get hit with that, and then I was listening. I don't know if you know Tim Ferriss. He wrote the 4-Hour Work Week, made him famous a while ago. He was on Sean Ryan's podcast, and he was talking about like dying and if you really turn off when you're dead. So like it all just came together. I'm like, what is even real, dude? I'm seeing AI shit that looks real. He's telling me when I die, I don't even turn off. Like, is this even real? You know what I'm saying? So I was all down the rabbit hole last night.
Yeah. Probably doesn't help it when you're doing that after smoking a bowl.
Yeah.
That'll get real deep.
Yeah. Oh, see, you gotta press people sometimes on these fucking things. The fortune is in the follow-up.
Yeah. You get some saunas that way.
Yeah. Comes in like 2 weeks when I get back from my ski trip.
You got NQ trying to take its overnight now, as ES have been leading the charge on that, already being below it for a few hours now. So definitely not going to just jump into a long right at 932, but see how we could shake up. Because like I said, higher low could be built anywhere within here in the low a day. So unfortunately, I'm going to be sticking to a long bias initially until we get some information to tell me that shorts are in. Especially on a day that clearly took out of yesterday's high and made an all-time high. It's like that's tough to be bearish.
What do we got? 10 minutes till stream.
Yeah, we got one more 15-minute candle. So see if this rallies back up or slow and steady. You saw my trades this week. It was at like 10, 20, and 11 o'clock. So
Yeah.
No need to rush into things. Very rarely is that first idea of the day the one I look back on and say, oh, that was the money. That was the easiest trade, the smartest trade, the biggest trade, whatever. It's an idea. It's an opportunity. But just you don't always need it. There are some that you need that you'd be pissed if you don't take, but more times than not, you're better off waiting. Especially you, Bobby. 300 away from payout, you wait.
Yeah, Bobby,
your
you
ass
sit
down and you
your
wait.
ass down and wait.
You go in the corner.
You
15
believe
minutes.
January's over, bro?
Yeah. Now I gotta freaking get ready for Valentine's Day after I just did Christmas.
Oh, dude, my anniversary's coming up in February, and it hit me
That was a
yesterday.
mistake. I don't know why you did that. Or do
I'm
you get them
married.
both out of the way?
Well,
Does she
no,
allow
dude,
that?
we split it. And we're traveling this year, so I banged one of the gifts out by the trip. You know what I'm saying? So that's done.
Yeah.
But now the anniversary thing, I got to figure something out. It's honestly unfortunate that she doesn't like jewelry and like stuff, and like she bought herself a new bag the other day, and it's like a Kate Spade bag, so it's like $400, and she was bragging to me that she got it for like 170 somehow. I'm like,
Yeah, I don't know. Get her a dog. No, you
oh,
guys already
dude,
have cats
yeah, stop,
and
bro,
a second child.
and a second
Hold off
child.
on that.
I tell you, I think we're finding out the gender Saturday afternoon.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that'll be fun.
She goes, yeah, I think we should get some food since people are coming here. I go, yeah, you don't think, you don't say. That's what you do for these kind of things, you know? Yeah, what are you looking at there? NASDAQ just breaking overnight VWAP, so ES much more bearish.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah, so how are you gonna find out the gender? Is someone like cutting a cake, or are you just gonna pop a balloon or something?
I don't know, bro.
Your
I
mother-in-law just gonna be like, "It's a boy." Just gonna verbalize it.
I really don't know. We'll find
Yeah,
out. I'm sure there'll be a video of it somewhere.
yeah.
There was a funny video of I forgot about this kind of. It was at like Christmas or something one year. We were somewhere and Riley like tried to stage it where like everyone was posed for the photo and then she was like, "All right, say I'm pregnant on 3." And her aunt's reaction, instead of like being happy or whatever at first, she was like, "No, you're not." Like, but in like a net kind of like a negative. And I was just sitting on the couch, bro. Like I wasn't up in the picture and I watched it. It was like a movie. It was literally like being in one of them funny movies. And I was like, oh my God, what a backfire, dude. It was hilarious.
Yeah, I
Don't
remember
tell
you texted us, or at least me, on Christmas a few years ago now that you were pregnant with Leo.
Mhm.
You told me on Christmas.
That was your gift.
Yeah.
It's good to
Was it
know.
that Christmas? Or
It might have been that Christmas.
yeah, because that's
We
what
told
you told
everybody.
me around that time, so
Yeah, it sounds about right.
and then he was born in June, so
Yeah.
checks out.
Top One Futures is they got this ad running right now with the there's a video game called Arc Raiders. Chat.
Oh
Am
my
I out
god,
of
I
loop?
see it everywhere.
Everywhere. What the fuck is this game, bro? Is this
Don't
the
know.
new Fortnite?
I think it is. In terms of everyone playing it, yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know.
There's a I don't know. Probably on everyone's feed, but once I saw it once, it's all over my feed now. It's just this guy that's a peanut. Have you seen any clips of that?
No.
Well, if you ever see one, you'll see a million of them. He's all over my algorithm, and I've never played the game, never tuned into a stream, but he's just dressed up as like not dressed up as a peanut. It's just like an AI or overlay of him as a peanut, and like no one knows his real identity, but he's just fucking hilarious.
That's funny.
Probably funny because he is a peanut, but I'm just like, am I really watching a clip of this peanut guy
Yeah, you are, bro. You are the
play
people.
video games? But he's got a good production team behind him.
Yeah.
So he changes scenes, and he's just funny.
Yeah, I mean, streaming in itself is like a whole thing. I said to like I told Leo already. I was like, bro, if you like video games because he likes watching people play video games, I'm like, it's fine. Just stream it. Get good at it. Start
Yeah.
now.
Yeah, I mean, there's streamers that like are good, and there's streamers that aren't good at video games, but they're entertaining, and people like their personality, so they still watch them.
It's always what it is. It's all entertainment.
Want to be somewhat good,
Yeah,
like hold your own, but
right.
you don't need to be like a pro of like no one's gonna watch me. I'm not good
Is
enough.
Ninja still a famous streamer?
I mean, he's nowhere near his peak now. He's well off.
Well off the peak now.
Well off.
That was
He
years
was
ago.
I remember he was just the first really good person at Fortnite. That's why he blew up. Because then once everyone else got really good at it, he wasn't special. And then now he's not. But made his bag, so doesn't matter.
Yep.
Yeah, it's a loot extraction game, I think. Go in, collect stuff, trying to get out. It looks that way, yeah. It looks like
Well, I mean,
but
listen
like
to
is
the
it like
name,
a just a
Arc
giant
Raider.
open server? I don't know.
Yeah, I'll play the new GTA when it comes out. I'll buy that.
Yeah, I'll hit
If I'm
grandma
a-
with a baseball bat.
If
Get
I'm
out of the car.
alive. Yeah, dude. I'm
Get
definitely
out.
like that's what we used to do for like that was the shit back in the day. So
Yeah,
just
you
for
go to your
nostalgia, I'd
warehouse.
have to buy it. Yeah.
Pimp out my car. Ooh.
Pimp out my car, get a bazooka and blow shit up from the top of a building.
I want to get 5 stars as quick as possible.
I used to play like when Call of Duty Modern Warfare 2 was out and we were in like high school. It was all we did. It was the
That
best.
was such an easy life.
And then it like transitioned to FIFA. And then I'm still pretty good at FIFA, but like not like how I used to be. And then like
No.
Call
Call
of
of Duty
Duty,
Modern Warfare 2, that was probably like 2012, I think. That was the best
it
time
just
ever.
but it ruined it for everybody. Like they made it awful, like as time went on. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I mean, it's tough to do it every year. There's another new one.
Yeah, I just feel like they just fucking ruined it.
So, but
I'm
it
gonna
was
go
also
get
it was
this.
so good.
I'm gonna get the stream started, buddy. I'll see
Yes,
you
sir.
all on there. You give them one final promo, and then I'll see you on
Yes,
stream.
sir. Alrighty, chat. Hell yeah, but I mean, yeah, that was such a time. And you can't like replicate it. I saw a video about that one day. They were like hopping on like playing video games with the boys isn't the same. Even if you play the same game, it's not the same. You know, your responsibilities are different. Your outlook on life is like it was just so easy and peaceful. And your only question of the day was like, what time are you gonna get on? What time do you want to play? That was it. That was your life. Now it's like, yeah, we can get on and play Call of Duty. I'm capable of it. Not the same. You're never gonna be able to replicate that. It was like, what are taxes? Mom's making me lunch. Got fucking 3 Mountain Dews next to me. Let's rip it all night. Especially when it snowed outside. Oh, we got snow day tomorrow. Let's play all day. All right. No more nostalgia. 95 guys will have all this relationship with video games. Mom went for 2 hours, and that was it. Yeah. I mean, I don't really know when it stopped. It's sad. It's like that clip in like The Office. Like, I wish you knew you were in the good old days before you know that they're good old days. Like, I don't really know when I stopped playing video games. Like, stopped. Just kind of happens, you know, for everyone, obviously. Just like one day, I was like, "Yep, that was the last game." But all right, lock it back in. I know many of you are crying out there in the chat, thinking about your past. But we got a nice stream ahead of us. We'll be live on ASFX TV in a couple minutes, like Austin just said. So if you want to join, absolutely free. Links in my bio. We're going to end the stream here. Going to continue it on ASFX TV. I'll be live again here pre-market on Friday. We're doing a giveaway tomorrow and Friday of instant funded accounts. Not today. We did one yesterday. We're going to be giving away another account tomorrow and another one on Friday, maybe even a couple on Friday. So if you want to join that top one futures giveaway, you got to be a member there as well. The site is up and running, so the transition to Tradeovate is going. So if you need a top one account, your next purchase, right, your next one is 60% off if you use code Evan, and then 40% off everything after. So I said it yesterday. If you're gonna buy multiple or different kinds, buy the most expensive one first because you're gonna get 60% off of that one, and then buy like the Ignite. That's $200 for 40% off. You know, don't buy a cheap one first and get 60% off that. It's only on your first purchase that you'll get 60% off. So check that out if you need it. I'm trading on top one futures right now. I'm logged in through Tradeovate, so hopefully no issues today, like you guys were saying earlier. I think we're fine. Appreciate you guys hanging with me pre-market. We're gonna jump over here to ASFX TV. Austin's already firing it up. Intro's running. Let's have a good day, all right? Wipe those tears, Bobby. Lock it in for those payouts. Come on, $300 away. I want to see you on stream and tell me you got it, either today or tomorrow. All right, all right. AJ Tulissis, whatever the name is, our WXB. Everybody hanging out pre-market. Appreciate you guys. See you guys on stream, and if not, see you guys pre-market Friday.